Hello, this is Unit 4. Today we're going to tie a little, what fishermen call a nymph. We call it a macroinvertebrate. It's the little larval stage of the insects that crawls along the bottom of the riverbanks, or on the bottom of the river. And often they get, some stream will come by, or they'll be crawling around eating the plants, and they get washed up into the water. Fish, this is the primary food of fish. This is a very easy fly to tie, and I'm going to take you through it. What you're going to need is, again, one of the small hooks in your bag, the red wire that's in your bag, and some of this stuff, it's kind of hard to see. This is from a peacock, and it's peacock feathers. And we're going to take those peacock feathers, and those are the only things that we're going to need for this fly. It's very effective. It's very small. It doesn't look like anything, but it really does work. So the first thing you're going to do, and again, you can pause this at any time, is get your hook, pull out your vise, your holder, stick your hook in there, and again, this is kind of tricky in that you have to turn the bottom of your holder. And once we get it in there really good and tight, okay, then you stick it inside your thing. Okay, I'm going to try to put it so my body is against it here so you can see what we're doing. So then we're going to take our thread, and remember how we hook the thread on? You just start winding it around, wind it around 2-3 times, and then go back over yourself a few times, and just go backwards and forwards until you get it. And we're going to go all the way back on the shank to right about where the point of the hook is. We're going to leave it hanging there. Then we trim off this tag end. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our peacock feathers and kind of line up maybe 3 of them, if you can find 3 of them in there. So get them all together. See how I have 3 of them? And I'm going to lay this end. This is, see, you might see like a white end and then a pointy end. Put the white end and lay it on top of the hook, and sometimes I just kind of hold on to the vise too, just as a stabilizing thing. And then you're going to wrap it around, right? You're staying right near the bend of the hook, and you're going to wrap that around. Wrap it around maybe 5-6 times, so it's nice and tight. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our red wire, if I can pick it up, and we're going to lay that on top of the hook, and we're going to wrap that tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 times. Okay, we're almost done at this point. Let's see if you can see that. See, everything's just wrapped down here at the end. And then now I'm going to take my string, my thread, and I'm going to wrap it, one thread right next to the other one. It doesn't have to be super neat, but just try to get them close together. And we're going to wrap it all the way up to just behind the eye. Okay? So now everything's all set. Now we're going to take all 3 of these feathery things, and you'll notice they kind of sparkle a bit, which is the whole point. And we're going to take these and we're going to just wrap them around the hook. And you might have to use 2 hands to do this. And you'll see that as you wrap it around, it gets real kind of spiky. And that makes like a little green body. It's very reminiscent to a caddis fly, which is some of the fish's primary food. Once we have this all the way, almost up to the very end, then with your other hand, you're going to flip this over a couple times. You see how I'm doing under and then over. What that will do is that will secure this thing on there, and then you'll take your string and wrap it around a couple more times to really secure that on there. At that point, we can take our scissors and just trim the feathers. Don't throw those away because we're going to need them for something else. Okay? Now that we have that, we have some wire hanging out here. And what we're going to do is we're going to spiral the wire around maybe 3 times, 4 times, just to give this a little bit of sparkle. You don't want them too close together. You just want a little bit. I think I'm going to go, that was 3 times. I think I'm going to go 4 times and then bring it up to the front here, just like we did before. And then I'm going to take this and wrap it around a couple times. Sometimes it'll get all jammed up like this. And then with your scissors, don't be afraid, using the back of the scissors, just kind of trim this real close if you can. And then now we're going to wrap this up real good, like a zillion times here, till you get like a little, almost like a little black head. And we're all done, except we got to tie it off. So we take our knot tying tool, and remember what we said how to do the knot tying tool. You take the knot tying tool, push it down on the string, wrap this towards the point of the knot tying tool. You see, I'm wrapping it and then bringing it on the point side, not this side, but the point side. Push it right up against, right behind the hook eye, and it'll slide right in. We're going to do that 2 more times. Actually 3 or 4 times. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try 4 times. That's good. Usually the number is 3 to 6 times, okay? Doesn't really matter. And then we're going to cut this off. And now we have, I'll pull it out so you can see. And now what we have is a nice little fly. There you go. And that's a little green nymph.